Some people confuse intensity with connection. And can I just say like one thing? I think this is literally the story of my life, okay? Every time I'm trying to get close to someone, it's because I sense some sort of warmth, right? And warmth sometimes gets confused with deep, you know? Because everything that's lower is warm, so it's dark, so it's deep. So there should be some connection, right? But I guess like maybe it's because I'm an immigrant, or maybe it's because I just always felt like I wasn't like the rest of everybody else. Every time I try to get close to someone, it's like I confuse their niceness, their calmness, or I don't know, whatever it is. Could it be maybe the look in their eyes or the way they approach me? I always confuse it with connection, deep connection. So I always end up getting hurt. Do I know why? No, I have no clue. And if you're listening to this right now, you probably feel the same way. And yes, feel free to connect here because I am just, I don't know. I'm not really good either at, keeping relationships going. Because it's not because like I feel like I'm better than anybody else. It's more like because I feel like they saw me in a different way than I am. Does that make any sense? Like I'm not the person that they think I am. So it always starts off with me meeting new people. I get along great with them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can make friends literally in 2 seconds. 0.2 seconds actually. But the minute I notice that they never reach out, or, if I reach out, I don't feel like I'm important enough for them to, put their phone down and, talk to me, then I don't know. I just pick up on small things, but it doesn't mean that it's the truth. It just means that's just how society works, right? I mean, society is not supposed to work like, oh yeah, let me put the phone down and this person in front of me is the most important person in the whole wide world. This person that I just met a month ago, like, it's never going to be like this. And you're never going to be the one person that someone needs in their life just because they met you. I'm sorry, but that's just not the truth. Okay? The truth is everybody has their own life and everybody has their own issues going on. And I've been on both sides before. Although I'm usually the one who wants people to connect with me. And I'm usually the one who seeks connection to people who I don't even know yet, okay? It has been a great example, okay? I met a girl once before at a bus station, or on a bus, okay? I met a girl before at a bus station, and she was the sweetest thing. Oh my God. And that was like 10 years ago, okay? That was the first time I even came to the States. I went on the bus, okay? That's a quick story for you. I went on the bus. I had no car. I had no means to drive, but I really wanted a job. And I just moved in together with my husband. And I just went, took the bus, and I made all kinds of different connections, okay? I loved going with the bus. That was like my thing. And then I met this girl, and she was the sweetest thing. She just got married too, and we were just talking about life, and we were exchanging phone numbers. But, eventually life happened, and we just lost connection, I guess. We lost connection over the time, okay? But I started to reach out to her again, because to me, a connection, like once I form a connection, I cannot just simply say, okay, let's break up that connection just because time has passed. So on my end, the connection was still there, but they have already moved on like 5,000 years ago. Okay. And so here I am going on Instagram, searching for her and see what is she up to? What does she do these days? And I messaged her, and the first thing she asked me was what church I belong to. Mind you, I got no issues with churches, okay, as long as I don't have to join the community and as long as they accept me for someone who's not a member of the church. But she wouldn't meet up with me simply because I wasn't a member of the church. And this is how you have to understand. This is just like one example, right? And this is how you have to really understand how people work. If you're like me, you're probably listening to this exact podcast episode or whatever, and you may feel the same way. And I'm telling you, you're not going crazy. You're just in a complete different way of awareness than, let's say, a friend was or is that you met like 10 years ago. And then there are these other people that you can literally talk to 10 years later, and it's like you're connecting with your best friend again. It happened to me. That's another example. So it can go different ways, okay? There is this one friend, and I'm not saying her name because I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but she lives in Germany. This is where I'm from, okay? And I talked to her, 15 years later, right? As if there was no change, as if we spoke like every day, but we didn't. Like there was a long, how do you say it? A long stretch of silence between us. Gesundheit, bless you. So, yeah, so that's how my life is going. And this is how it is. And if you've been around, trying to look for a reason, then I think there's not really a specific reason why this happens. The only reason is the other person already moved on. They went a different life path. I think, okay, this is how I imagine it, okay? Somebody takes one life path with another person. Imagine you're going hand in hand, right? And then eventually you're slowly letting go. And the other person is just being pulled away from you earlier than you are pulled away from them. It doesn't mean that you're alone or lonely or whatever, but they're just carrying on to a different life path than you. And that's okay. And this is how you are able to actually let go of the fact that you're just not the most important person for them. And it is a fact, but it's not anything negative. If anything, it gives you the permission to let go and let new people into your life. Some people are just meant to, go that different route that you were not meant to go. Or maybe, potentially, maybe someday you'll cross paths again, right? But, this is like how paths work, right? Like even in real nature, one couple goes one way and the other couple goes the other way, and they go separate ways, and then eventually the paths, you meet them again. Say, oh, hi, I just met you earlier, right? So this is how, I think also like this is how life works, but you see them in a different way. You see them in a different perspective, and that's very important. And the perspective that you will eventually see them in is with the perspective of the knowledge that you gained over the years when you were without them. So this girl, when she asked me what church I belonged to, it's not because she didn't like me personally anymore. She just experienced things that I did not experience. And this is how she views me now with that new perspective. You don't lose them people in that way. You lose them you lose them in a little bit of a way. Yes, that's right. But you don't lose them in a way where you say she's a bad person or whatever. You just lose them in a way that you used to see them because you used to see the old version of them. It doesn't exist anymore. That's also how nature works. It's the same concept. So it's difficult for you to let go of someone. Let's say it's difficult for you to let go of your partner, your ex-partner. Maybe an estranged family member. Maybe your son, maybe your daughter, maybe, who knows? I don't know. Your mom, your dad. But this is how life works sometimes. Sometimes you just have to always let go and understand that connection is not always the thing that you need to have with other people. Really what it is, you need to have the connection to yourself. That way you can stay positive and, well, positive is kind of like a toxic word almost these days. Let me find a different word. That way you can stay confident and, and more free, right? You can stay peaceful, free, and more confident in the decision that you make for yourself to live your life the way you want to without having to need the approval from others. That way, you can just keep on working on the connection to yourself. And that's very important. That's actually the very, very most crucial, most important thing for you to do. Or at least it was for me. To build a connection to yourself. Because you're the only person that knows what you're going through. You know your truth. Right? So, anyway, thank you so much for listening to my first podcast. I'm still at home with my kids, so you're probably wondering what all that noise is. Oh my God. They're trying to get rid of some flies over here. Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned. Hopefully, I get to see you again in my next episode. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.